Hello and welcome to Find Your Freedom, a podcast dedicated to helping you truly find freedom in all aspects of life. Join your hosts and their expert guests as they share practical tips and strategies for finding more freedom in your life. It's time to take control of your life and create the future you want. Let's find your freedom. Here are your hosts, Lenny the Boss and Omid Rad Investor.
Boom, 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 boom. Welcome back to another. This show is live, right? Check it out. Check it out. It's live. Come on. Come on. All right, listen. Find your freedom. And for whatever reason, where are our books?
Oh, yeah, we have your book. So we're going to talk about it, but it's on the table. So
Thank you.
All right.
yeah,
Thank you.
in the conference room.
Thank you for the support.
Yes, yes.
Listen, we're here at Find Your Freedom, and we are with the great Sarah, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to interview today, and we're going to sit here and talk about some fantastic things.
Let's
all right?
do
Yeah, wait. We got to do the Find Your Freedom sandwich.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, right.
I paid extra for this.
You know, I'm going to tell a corny joke real quick, and then we're going to jump into this, right?
Okay.
So I was watching this show, and not a show, a clip on IG. And, so it was this guy, he said, he was running. And, he saw these kids playing football. So he told the kid, hey, pass me the ball. And the kid said, I'm not sure, old man. He was like, old man, I'm not that old, right? And then the kid said, well, how old are you? Or what year you was born? He said, 1983. He said, yeah, you was born in the late 1900s. and that made me think, am I old? This is awful. All right, so the corny joke is over. So with that being said, let's get into Sarah.
I was nervous you're going to ask me how old I am.
No, we're not doing that. Maybe we do
That's on date number 2.
date number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we do a challenge, and the winner get to dance with me tonight.
Yeah, there we go.
How about that?
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
So with that being said, Sarah, before we go on, if you can, please just share a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Weaver. I am a real estate investor and entrepreneur. I own businesses helping real estate investors and agents live a bigger life.
Boom.
So,
There we go. I love this live stuff.
I think you don't give yourself enough credit in this little intro. So, let's go back a little bit. So, tell us when you got started and then kind of walk us through kind of that journey as far as where you are today.
Yeah, I started with house hacking. I bought my first property in 2017, and then I didn't buy something for 2 years. And so one thing that the headlines make it sound really sexy, she went from 3 units to 15 units in 92 days. Clap.
Come on.
While that's like a very sexy headline, and it's true, but I bought a property. 2 years later, I bought another property. And then it was a year and a half, almost 2 years later, that I bought 4 properties or 12 units. And that's when I found the power of furnished rentals. I quit my JOB. I started
Clap. Yeah. All right.
and then started other businesses serving real estate investors and agents, and just really focusing on the lifestyle. And I think that's what I did from the very beginning. Is even when I bought those first 2 properties, I was all about lifestyle. I lived in South America. I lived in Bali. I lived in New Zealand. And I bought property long distance.
So, I think a lot of times people talk about building wealth, but there's an imbalance. So, they're working 20 hours. And I think what speaks to me is the life balance that you had as far as pursuing travel. So talk a little bit about that, because I think that really speaks, and resonates with a big audience. So talk a little bit about that, and what was that inspiration, and how do you come to that conclusion? Somebody who wants to get started and wants to be you, what do they need to do?
It's you live really intentionally. So I think what people read is they're like, oh, she bought a bunch of real estate, and you don't see the behind the scenes. I worked really hard. I said no to a lot of things. And I think to touch on balance, balance is a myth. I instead believe in harmony. And so for me, a harmonious life was full of travel, but that meant I didn't spend a lot of quality time with my family because I was thousands of miles away. My dating life is a joke. My health struggled. And I crushed it with travel and business and real estate investing and building streams of income. And now that I have those things established, now I'm focusing on things like quality time with the people that matter most, maybe dating again. I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds scary. And then focusing on your health, because what is all the wealth if you don't have health? And so I think that I want to be very clear that life is going to continue whether you're ready or not. And I see things in chapters. So I had the chapter where I focus on travel. Then I had the chapter that I focus on real estate. Now I'm in a chapter where I'm building businesses. And next, I'd like to have a chapter where I'm focusing on the things that matter most, which is relationships.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can I get a clap for that?
Yeah.
Listen, there's so much to unpack there. Where do we start? But there's one thing you said that I thought was really interesting. And a lot of people need to learn this. So we're going to have to dive a little deep on this one. The power of the word no. All right. So honestly, because that's where it starts, right? So tell us some of the things you said no to, and tell us the struggles. But most importantly, tell us how you got through those struggles.
I think I said no to overspending and lifestyle creep. That's not a very sexy topic. And I'm not talking about like no coffee. I'm talking about like no extra. Like I didn't have shoes that I didn't need. One, because I lived out of a carry-on suitcase, so that helped with no extra. But I just said no to some of the things that, yeah, I really wanted those things. Like, yes, I would like a, 2-hour massage and a better wardrobe, but I didn't need that in that chapter. So I said no to things that I didn't need. And then I said no to distractions. So someone asked me yesterday, like, how do you like keep from being distractingly busy? And I think what it was is I looked at what do I need to accomplish in the next 90 days to hit my 1-year goal? Then what do I need to do in the next 30 days? What needs to happen in the next week? What do I need to do in the next 30 minutes to make sure I get there? And I was just incredibly intentional with my time.
That's beautiful. Sheesh. Clap for that. Come on. Come on. Sheesh.
So
Like a drop your mic moment right there.
I think a lot of people hear intentional and they don't know the actionable steps. So you kind of broke it down 30, 60, 90. Can we even get a little bit deeper on that? Because I think that is a great roadmap as far as accomplishing goals, whatever that is. So I love the way you kind of describe chapters. So maybe just explain like breaking like one chapter down as far as like how you set those goals. So somebody can just concentrate on like one chapter within their own life.
Yeah. So we're all here to learn about real estate investing. And so let's just look at real estate investing. So what I did is I focused on identity. So James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, always talks about like, who do you need to become to be the person that you want to achieve the goals? So I just thought, what do real estate investors do? Well, they go to the meetups. They don't just show up like physically, but they show up intentionally. So they shake hands, they meet people, they add value to people, they share resources, and then they go home. And again, they don't take a nap, but they analyze 10 deals a day, write 1 to 2 offers a week. You meet with banks, you meet with lenders, you build on the ground teams in different states. So you take action because that's what a real estate investor does. Even if you have imposter syndrome and you're like, oh, I like don't really know what I'm doing, or I'm not ready yet. No one's ever ready. Like I'm still not ready. And yet look at what I have.
You're killing it.
Man, come on. Give the extended clap for that.
I love all these claps too.
Listen, being ready is something I think everybody struggles with, right? Because you're like, is this good enough? Is this right? What I should be doing, right? So I guess what is that extra push though? Like what still allow you to say, I know this is not all the way thorough and I know this might not be right, but I'm still going to throw it out there for someone to catch it. Like, can you give our listeners here and as well as everybody in this world just a little, maybe a few tips on how you just get out there?
Yeah, I think about my future self a lot. So like, what will Sarah be proud of today? So let's pick something small, like this menu. I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm eating. So I really would like that cheese fondue or these beer battered fish tacos. But what will future Sarah be more thankful?
Man.
So then I might eat some vegetables with a smile on my face. And so it's the same thing with investing. So like, will future you be happy that you kicked the can down the street for, 4 weeks being like, I don't know what market, or, oh, distraction. Like now I want to do BRRRR. Now I want to do MTR. Now I want to do STR. Or will your future self be glad that you focused?
Focus. So clap. Come on.
Yeah. So I feel like the focus component that you talk about is really consistent with like the one thing. So if somebody wants to do the one thing, they're somebody who's a beginner, where should they start?
Yeah. So I think that as a beginner, you need to pick a strategy. Your strategy needs to be in line with your goals. So let's go back a step further. Like the preface is know your goals. And if you don't know, just talk to someone. Talk to someone instead of talking to someone who's 20 steps ahead of you. Talk to someone who's 2 steps ahead of you. So look at someone who has what you want and you're like, okay, here's what I'm thinking my goal is. Now, this strategy, do you think that's going to get me to my goal? So you pick a strategy, then you need to pick a market. I'm a huge advocate of long distance investing or out of state investing. And then you build an on the ground team. And those are the 3 steps.
Yeah, you make it sound so simple. You're a professional. Let's get a round of applause for that.
Keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Now check this out. I like to live this 33% life. You know what that is?
But let us know.
All right, cool. So 33% of the people is above me that's pouring into me. Some people I'm paying, right? And some people are just mentors, right? And then another 33% are people that are kind of in the same struggle as me. Maybe not in the same niche, but we are all doing the same thing, pushing for kind of sort of the same goals, right? And then another 33% is because I feel as though I'm this wealth of knowledge that I must pour down into people. And some people pay me. Some people you just go ahead and give it away. So how important is it to have that mentor, right? And the ones that are free as well as the ones that are paid?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm incredibly driven, very ambitious. And I'm sure a lot of people listening and a lot of people here self-describe the same way. And listen, I'm going to make it to the penthouse no matter what. And I can walk the stairs and I can get really tired and really winded and quit at maybe the 27th floor, or I can pay to take the elevator with a mentor and I'm going to get to the penthouse faster. I'm going to be less winded and it's going to be a full elevator with people alongside me that believe in the same thing.
Awesome. I love it.
That is, wow. I've never heard it that way with the elevator, and so I'm gonna have to use it. I'm gonna have to steal that one day. Like, yeah, that's an awesome way to describe it.
I'll make sure you get your licensing deal.
Yes.
I heard it from someone else. I can't take credit. I can't take credit.
Yeah, but I really want to emphasize that point because for me, I've always wanted the Cliff Notes version. So give me the Cliff Notes version. Somebody show me a way. And you said it. It was like success, like speed, like
it's success like speed.
Yeah, success like speed. So I think it allows you to kind of accelerate your growth. So what would you say to somebody that is into the idea of I can learn it myself in YouTube, or I can pull some resources? Like what would you say to that?
They can. Like I absolutely think so. I think we live in a world just full of incredible content, and you absolutely can get the content for free. And so then make sure that you have someone that's holding you accountable. And that can also be free. Or you can join my mentorship program. No,
Yes! No. We'll put a plug later, though. We will put a plug.
No.
I've heard great things. And I've met your coaches, so they're awesome.
Yeah, jokes aside, I think it's really important that you figure out the piece that you're missing. I know a lot of people who join every mentorship that they can. Yeah. And they ask things like, oh, which one should I join? Or I'm thinking about this. And I say, what is the one thing that you're struggling with?
Yeah.
And is that going to fill the need? Or are you using education as procrastination?
Oh, that's a good one.
All right, here we go. Come on.
Yes,
clap.
Education as procrastination.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
Okay. All right. Now let's fast forward the story a little bit, right? So you got this fantastic book that's out now, right? The 30-day stay, correct? All right. So what inspired you to write this book?
I think for me, I wanted a guide, like a resource book. By no means is this comparing myself to Tim Ferriss. That would be an over exaggeration. However, anyone that's read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, I love that book because I pick it up periodically and I jump to the chapter that I need. So maybe it's mindset, maybe it's strategy, maybe it's hiring and delegating, but I use that book as a reference. And so for me, when writing 30 Day Stay with Ziana McIntyre, I really wanted to make sure that it was a reference book for you guys. So if you don't need help with financing, then skip the financing chapter. If you are like in the middle of it, you're like, I heard about this book way too late and now I'm furnishing, well, then skip to the furnishing chapter. And so that's my hope with the book.
That's awesome. 1 second. All right. So the book right now is on Amazon. Okay. So go out, pause this video, right? Go out to Amazon, purchase the book, 30-day stay, correct? And then come right back and listen to the rest of this interview.
Or bigger pockets.
Yes. If you would like 10% off, use my promo code Sarah. Or if you're listening to this live, you can use Sarah Spring for 20% off.
Boom. I should have reached out to you before this event. Man.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah. I'll share that. Yeah.
Thank you for spending the extra $3.49.
That could have been this drink. I mean, oh, man.
Not
It might have been like a sip. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the biggest takeaway. So if there is one takeaway that you would like to share about the book, what would you say, like the one takeaway?
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. I should ask you, have you read it?
You know, I shared before that I'm a rookie, but I'm going to be reading it. Yeah.
Oh, you want the Cliff Notes.
Yes, I'm a Cliff Notes guy.
Going straight to the author.
Yeah, so yeah.
So I think the takeaway with the book is that we don't all have the answers. And so if you're going to the book to like solve all your problems, I think unfortunately you're going to be a little disappointed. But instead the book should be a reference for you. And I hope it's really clear that through the book, like I am just a girl from Kansas that just put one foot in front of the other. I really believe in what I call just-in-time learning. So I didn't worry about LLCs and, family trusts when I didn't own any properties yet. And so my hope is that you guys pick up the book or don't, but you just take action, because what is your future self going to thank you for?
That's great. There you go.
Yes.
All right, Sarah, honestly, we can probably have this interview take hours and hours and hours. All right. And I hope we're going to get you live, that you will be on our podcast, correct?
I would love that.
Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
All right. Now we have a question for you. What does find your freedom means to you?
Yeah, I think first you need to define it. And so for me, in the chapter that I'm in, it's waking up and having money come in so that I can spend time, money, and energy with the people that I love the most.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. Well, like Lenny said, we can continue and go on forever. So let's do can we do like a dance, or like what should we do?
What should we do, guys?
Yeah, we want to conclude the show right now.
What should we do?
Should we do the boom?
All right, let's do the boom. No,
Okay.
no, before we do the boom, right? Because you are fantastic and you just inspired 100 million people, because we have 100 million people watching our podcast, right? and with that being said, how can people contact you and get in contact with you?
Yes, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Sarah D. Weaver, or go to sarahdweaver.com.
Fantastic. So, all right, so we do something special to really end our show. And what we do is we do this big boom session, right?
Okay.
So the objective here is to wake up Jesse wherever he's at. And if we don't boom that loud, that means that we did a poor job. Got it? So how it goes is I'm going to count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and everybody here, including us, we're all going to yell boom as loud as we can. Yay?
Yeah.
All right. You ready to go? Perfect. All right. 1, 2, 3. Boom!
Thanks for listening to Find Your Freedom. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. While you're at it, please help us spread the word by leaving a rating and review and sharing the podcast with friends, family, and colleagues. Until next time, get out there and find your freedom.